We've been feeling over the past couple of days or weeks that a lot of curveballs have been thrown at us, just business, health, relationships, things like that. And it's really all about trusting the process, that phrase that we hear so much. So I wanted to ask you, when things feel like they're completely falling apart, do you feel like they're falling apart, or do you feel that they're more falling into place?
It's a tough one because my human nature is that it feels like it's falling apart. And sometimes you wonder if it's repairable. I just recently had a diaphragm injury
Mhm.
and that killed me. I was this close to being out of the woods and it killed me because that's that's where I breathe. Like that's where I connect. And luckily today was like the first day I felt amazing again. I wouldn't say amazing, but I feel like it's finally healing. And I didn't have that weird like pain in my diaphragm today. And I felt very hopeful again. Like my hope has been restored in a big, big way. But I'm not gonna lie to you, like when I had that happen or other stuff that I've had happen, there is that question of like, am I gonna get out of this? Am I gonna make it out of this? Am I gonna be okay? So I think, yeah, I also see the spiritual reason behind all things. Like I understand why they happen. It's like, hey, slow down, take your time. And even when I am injured or whatever, it's like, of course, I want to get back to what I love,
Mhm.
but I know it's not time yet.
Mhm.
Like I know that I have to take my time.
Yeah. So is there something that you hold on to kind of keep that thought in mind?
Mm, I would say that I keep telling myself that my body can heal and it allows me to cultivate more trust with my body. So I learn a lot, even though I'm not like in my optimal state. I definitely feel like I learn a lot because it's like, Phil, go easy, go easy, go easy. But I also learn so much. And so that tells me that it must be happening for my highest good. And so I try to be very intentional with it.
Mhm.
Like, okay, this is going to last a little while. Hopefully, I'll make it out of this in one piece
Mhm.
and I'll be able to get back to what I truly love, my true purpose. But in the interim, I'm learning patience, I'm learning grace, I'm learning trust. And so I do believe that these things happen because there are unresolved emotions that we haven't really tended to, that we haven't really, yeah, tended to.
Yeah.
And maybe we thought we were, but it wasn't until the worst case happened that we really do.
Mhm.
And then also it gives you more appreciation for your body, for your life, for your health when you have it.
Mhm. I feel like I know the answer, but do you feel like there are things that you haven't addressed and therefore you're now having certain physical ailments or issues?
Yeah.
Can you?
I feel like for me, I have a tendency to go into fear when I'm malfunctioning. Like when my body's not operating properly and I'm not able to do the things that I love. Like I love meditating and like breathing is so important for me. And so it's showing me where I still have blind spots. It's showing me where I need to have more boundaries with some of the thoughts that I have sometimes. And I feel like this last run with this whole diaphragm thing really taught me that. Like I had a crazy epiphany that blew my mind. You saw me in the kitchen that day.
Mhm.
It's like the whole room lit up because I lit up from within and I was like, oh my God, how did I not see this before?
Yeah.
But my epiphany was that I didn't want to keep, I really saw how throughout my life I chased people that didn't love me. I would constantly say sorry to people, even though they would never say sorry to me. And so I saw how I was constantly feeding into trauma, like chasing love. And that kind of transposes into feeding into will I be okay?
Mm.
Googling my symptoms, getting on ChatGPT, will I be okay? This is what's happening to me. Constantly feeding into the fear or this idea that I'm not going to be okay
Mhm.
or that with relationships that they'll never see me,
Mhm.
so I really saw my pattern, and everything had to come to a head. Like, I had to get so sick. I feel like I was, like, not well that day. I was in a brain fog. I'm like, "What's going on with me?"
Mhm.
And as soon as I saw the pattern, it was like, "Ah, I see it now. I got this."
Mhm.
And I haven't been the same since,
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
And now it's like I'm healing again. My energy's flowing.
Mhm.
Whereas when we're feeding into our fears, our energy is not flowing, it's constricted.
Mhm.
So, of course, I feel like there's a spiritual reason behind everything we go through.
Mhm.
And it teaches us really important lessons. And maybe when we're well again, we can treat things with more care and not get, because I get overly excited when I feel well. And maybe I push my body too much, or, yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
that's one thing that it's we wanna be grateful when you're feeling better, but
Mhm.
we also wanna make sure that we don't kind of, hit the gas, like, all the way to the floor as soon as you have one good day.
Yeah.
It's like ease back into it a little bit.
What about you? Like when you don't feel your best or something is happening to your body, do you feel like it's happening for a positive reason?
Well, fortunately, knock on wood, I haven't had too many issues. The
Mhm.
past several years, I feel like I've been the healthiest
Mhm.
that I've been. But I do feel like everything happens for a reason. I wish that I was more in tune with, oh, I have a stomach issue and that correlates to this thing, or,
Mhm.
a headache that recurs. Like, I wish that I knew more of like what the spiritual meaning was behind whatever the ailment is.
Yeah.
But just in the last couple of years, I've fortunately been, pretty healthy.
Yeah. And I think you're somebody who would handle that really well anyway. So maybe that's not how you learn, is through physical stuff.
Hmm.
Whereas for me, it's like my stomach represents my personal power. And things had to reach a crescendo for me to go, oh, I'm giving my power to what else might happen to me or how bad this thing is going to get.
Right.
Because I was really afraid that I would need to go in for surgery or go see a doctor. And I don't like that stuff.
Hmm.
But I feel like maybe you learn in a different way than I do.
Yeah, I don't think that I go through the worst case scenario, or this is going to be something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
I kind of have it is what it is right now. I don't feel like I'm bypassing or anything like that. I just feel like my history has been, it's all been temporary.
Yeah.
So I have to trust the process and trust that it's
Yeah.
happening for a reason and it will eventually go away.
100%. For me, it's been a little different in that I already know my purpose and I know exactly where I fit in this world in terms of what I love to do when I feel well. And so when I'm thrown off my game, I'm like a little child that's like, but I really want to go back and do that thing. Like, when am I going to get to do that again? But then I'm having to, in a way, rehabilitate myself. And that teaches me so much so that I can come back stronger.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've been pushed to the edge lately. Like, my limits have been tested. And I really feel like this is the end. Like this is my rebirth. I feel like I'm this close to feeling great again.
Mhm.
So I'm celebrating that for
Yeah,
sure. You got to take the wins.
that's right.
I want to ask
That's right.
you, like, do you feel like people worrying or trying to control everything is working anymore? Like, is that working anymore?
No. It's what's working about it is adding more stress,
Hmm.
adding more anxiety, and possibly illness. So in that regard, it's working, but no. I feel like we need to let go of things that we have no control over. And I have struggled with that in the past. I I always wanted to be prepared. I wanted to plan for things. I wanted to have it all figured out. I wanted to be organized and try to avoid failure, try to avoid issues because I would get very down on myself. but I eventually had to give up control. Like, this thing is happening for a reason, and maybe it's to protect me, maybe it's to help me,
Mhm.
but I have had to just give up control and trust the process.
Yeah. Why do you think people are so adamant about controlling everything? Like, what is that, in your opinion?
I think it's the fear that it will not work out the way they think it should.
Mhm.
They have a pretty clear idea of what they want it to look like.
Mhm.
So if they white knuckle it, hang on to it, control it, then they feel like it's going to end up the way that they want it to,
Yeah.
instead of the way that it's meant to.
Yeah, I feel like our priorities are kind of upside down because even as you say, what it's gonna look like, it seems to always point to something that's outside of us
That's right.
instead of going like, "But what about me?
Mhm.
Who am I without these things? What am I so afraid of becoming?"
Mhm.
Because I really do believe that our true potential is about becoming more of ourselves. And so we use all these things in order to distract ourselves from tapping into that potential and becoming more of who we're meant to become.
Mhm.
And so I do find it interesting that people are so afraid of losing what's not in alignment with them. Like, if you think about that, we're afraid of losing the thing that's hurting us. We're afraid of losing the thing that's preventing us from becoming more of ourselves.
Mhm.
Whereas if we were fearless and bold and courageous, we would be able to let those things go and relinquish our control and then find out who we become and then find out what's connected to that. Like what does our life turn into?
Mhm.
Because it would take a lot less effort, in my opinion.
Yeah. The fear of the unknown can be debilitating.
Yeah.
And as you say, like, imagine what would happen if we just let go and got into alignment.
Yeah.
These things are happening for a reason. Let it go. If
Yeah.
it's not meant for you, like, what are you holding on to? Why do you want it when it's causing you the anxiety, the stress, the pain, the hurt, frustration? Let it go.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to move into the unknown. You and I were talking about this today. It's like, what if we're not supposed to know? What if that's the sweet spot? What if? What if when we try to figure things out and we can tell we're kind of reaching,
Mhm.
meaning it's not really in our wheelhouse, what if we're supposed to go, oh, even that takes effort because it's outside of my reach right now. So what am I doing?
Mhm.
What am I trying to control? What am I trying to figure out? Like, what if it's really just about getting back to connecting to myself
Mhm.
and seeing where that takes me? But I feel like if we don't have these things to rely on outside of ourselves, what's left is having faith in ourselves. And it, in a way, it's not really like we're in the unknown. We're following what we know feels good.
Mhm.
And what if we follow more of that?
Mhm.
I know what feels good, so I'm going to keep following that, even though it doesn't make logical sense.
Mhm.
I really think that that's how we do it, is we keep following those breadcrumbs until we eventually stumble upon what we're meant to do.
And it may even work out much better than we expected.
Yeah. Or who we're meant to be with. How do you tell the difference between letting go and giving up?
Mm. I think it's the feeling that you have, or that I have.
Hmm.
That's a really good question. I think it's in the way that I feel in my body. If I'm giving up, I imagine I'm going to just feel empty. I'm going to feel sad. It's maybe even more
Mm.
painful,
Hmm.
where letting go is like me opening up for what is meant for me, what may happen next, what will happen next.
Mm.
So I think of just like physically letting go is like just being resigned to failure, let's say, where or giving up is that,
Mhm.
where letting go is like I'm releasing.
Mhm.
I'm just, you know, going back to the white knuckle thing. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I feel like the the difference between letting go and giving up is the feeling that that act uh, um, that we have in our
Mhm.
body.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
That was an amazing answer.
It was a little all over the place, but thank you. What do you think is the difference between letting go and giving up?
That is a good question. So, because I thought I was asking you that question,
Mhm.
but okay. So, letting go to me is doing what's right because you're done trying to control your life. You're ready to align with your highest potential by letting go of things that are hurting that potential. Whereas giving up is reactive.
Mhm.
You're not really being honest with yourself. Like when we want to give up, we're not being honest with ourselves. We're throwing a fit. So giving up is not in integrity, it's not in alignment, and letting go is in alignment.
You have a way with words. I love the way you describe things
Thanks.
or explain things. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's so easy to give up because it is like resigning ourselves to failure, whereas letting go is so difficult.
Mhm.
And things that are nothing comes easy. And so things that are difficult are the most rewarding things in the end.
Mhm.
It's difficult to let go
Mhm.
and to not know what lies on the other side. It's easy to give up.
That's right.
And
And the other
yeah.
thing that just hit me is there's a level of acceptance, that there is acceptance in letting go, where I
Hmm.
feel like giving up is I don't feel like there's acceptance there. I think,
Yeah.
as you said, I feel like it's more reactive. Fine, fine. I'm not going to do this. I don't want this. It's not going to happen.
Well, yeah. And you know what just came to mind? It's like, think of a relationship. And those are perfect examples. Oh, I don't want to talk about this. I'm giving up. I don't have the emotional bandwidth to go there. Whereas, like, letting go is I'm going to let go of what I think I know right now, and I'm going to show up for you, and I'm going to show up for myself. And we're going to be able to bridge that gap. We're not going to give up on each other. It's me and you. We're going to resolve this thing, and it's going to get uncomfortable.
Mhm.
But becoming a new version of ourselves is always a challenge.
Mhm.
It's scary.
Yeah.
That in a way, that is the unknown, is to, okay, I know that I don't want to keep doing that thing over there because it always ends up in a fight, in a whatever, and it's not advancing me in my life.
Mhm.
Versus I'm afraid to have this conversation. I'm afraid to open myself up to you, but I know it's going to make me a better person.
Mhm. So when was the last time that you chose to let go and it turned out better than you thought it would?
This past week, I feel like I really wanted to get on ChatGPT
Mhm.
and check my symptoms and see if I would need a doctor. And after I had my light bulb moment and I realized that I was giving my power away to the fear, feeding into my trauma, feeding into catastrophe, I I let go of what I thought would fix me. And I took my power back. and I connected to something really, really deep within myself. And I really feel like I'm becoming a new version of myself now. Like it was so important for all of this to transpire, for me to connect the dots on so much of my history. And you had told me so many times with people, like, why do you keep feeding into it? Why do you keep chasing your friends when they're not ready to get honest with you? And I knew what you meant, but because I had a history of being avoidant with people, I thought like I was being super open trying to have those conversations.
Mhm.
But to what end?
Mhm.
And so I think I needed to have my light bulb moment on my own time. And it happened this past week. And I let go of trying to figure it out. And I just became more empowered.
Mhm. So when people are having a difficult time trusting the process,
Hmm.
w- what is one thing they can do in that moment when they're struggling, stressed out, anxious? What would you advise?
Them,
Yeah.
I would say, like, do you want to keep doing this to yourself? Because whatever your coping mechanism is, it only lasts a day. And then you're right back where you started. So at some point, we have to look at that loop and we have to say, okay, I'm the one grinding myself up by continuously feeding into this thing.
Mhm.
And so why don't I try a new method? Why don't I try a different approach? But again, we don't do that because we're scared. We're scared. Whatever we've done, we know it. It gives, it's like a drug addiction. It's like, "Oh, I'm okay, but we're not really okay."
Mhm.
And so we just have to keep reminding ourselves that we're powerful and that it's all been laid out the way it's supposed to be laid out for us to reorient ourselves to our inner strength, inner power,
Mhm.
and to not underestimate ourselves. So, yeah, what about you? How do you feel about all that?
I think of it like, how many times have I been in this situation where I have tried to control, become anxious, stressed out, frustrated, felt terrible, and then it ended up working out okay? So, how many times do I
Mhm.
need to keep doing that to myself before I can finally say, you know what? I'm not going to repeat that, catastrophic thinking or obtrusive thoughts. I'm going to trust that everything is happening for a reason and it's not going to be as bad as I think it's going to be. So I'm going to be kind to myself in this moment and I'm going to choose another way of approaching it, another path, retraining your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to do, I find. It can be really difficult because when we are in fear, then we're not really in our bodies. And so we keep spiraling.
Hmm.
That's why the mind is overactive. So it's not easy to get back into the body. But I think accepting what's happening to us is the first step.
Hmm.
And then acceptance grounds us. And then we can move into a state of peace eventually. But it's really, I find it really difficult sometimes because we can know, like, I know this isn't healthy for me, but we don't know how to stop it because our minds are so active. And that's why I feel like my aha moment this week was life changing because now I know that I'm not in my mind, like that I'm not my mind. So okay, I'll tell you what happened to me. I'll tell you. Okay, so I had this moment where everything came to a head and I felt really, really unwell. And I was staring at you. We were reading our books in the little village. I was staring at you and everything was spinning. Like I didn't know if I would be okay. I didn't feel okay. I was in physical pain, mental agony. And all of a sudden, I asked myself, I asked myself, am I aware of all this? Am I aware that I'm not well? Am I aware? So, like, underneath this all, am I okay? And it's like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. It's just that my body's not responding accordingly. My mind isn't responding accordingly. So that was my aha moment is like, I am fine. So what is everything else?
Mhm.
It's fear. It's all these intrusive thoughts that are telling me I'm not going to be okay. And that's when I saw the pattern of all the people in my life that would gaslight me. And then I would go chase them. The same thing. Someone's gaslighting you. And then you're like, I have to go chase them to let them know. It's all the same thing.
Mhm.
And so I saw in that moment that I was well. So we can always tell if are we really crazy or are we aware that we're being crazy? Are we unwell or are we aware that we're unwell? And it's in that awareness that we find ourselves. It's like, what is everything else?
Mhm.
It's just all this fear that's being pumped into me. And so that was huge for me. It's like I found myself again. So yeah, so
Mm.
not buying into it.
That's great. That's yeah, not buying into it. I'm not going to continue to believe what I've always believed that did not work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like this incident with my stomach had to happen because otherwise I would have never been able to connect all the dots. I feel like we usually connect the dots when the darkness is really loud, when we're in pain, because we're desperately seeking an answer and then the answer comes.
Mm.
And so, yeah, if I couldn't figure it out prior to this, then something else had to happen for me to finally connect those dots.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, me too. I think now it's time to eat.
Let's eat.